Do you know that feeling when you're lying in bed at 2 a.m. and your brain just won't shut up? It's like there's a broken radio in your head, switching between stations of worry, regret, and tomorrow's problems. You're exhausted, but your mind keeps playing the same thoughts over and over. That awkward thing you said 3 years ago, the deadline that's approaching, the conversation you need to have, but keep avoiding. I used to think this was just normal, that everyone's mind was this chaotic mess of random thoughts, fears, and mental to-do lists, until I met someone who changed everything I believed about how our minds actually work. Her name was Dr. Lisa Chen, and when I first saw her, she was sitting alone in the university cafeteria during one of the most stressful periods of my graduate program. While everyone around her was frantically typing, highlighting textbooks, or having anxious conversations about upcoming exams, she was just sitting there. Not on her phone, not studying, not doing anything, just sitting with this expression of complete calm that seemed almost impossible in that environment. I was fascinated and honestly a little annoyed. How could anyone be that peaceful when the rest of us were drowning in stress? A few weeks later, I ended up sitting next to her in the library. After watching her work for an hour, she would read for exactly 20 minutes, then sit still with her eyes closed for 5 minutes, then repeat. My curiosity got the better of me. "Excuse me," I whispered, feeling a bit ridiculous. "I hope this doesn't sound weird, but you always seem so calm. What's your secret? Are you on some kind of medication or something?" She laughed softly. "No medication, but I guess you could say I've learned how to turn off the noise in my head." I stared at her. "Turn off the noise? What do you mean?" She looked around the library at all the stressed students, then back at me. "When's the last time you experienced complete silence in your mind? Not distracted silence, like when you're watching TV. I mean actual mental silence where no thoughts come up at all." I thought about it. I don't think I ever have. Is that even possible? "Come with me," she said, closing her textbook. "I want to show you something." We walked to a quiet corner of the campus where there was a small garden. She sat down on a bench and gestured for me to sit beside her. "Close your eyes," she said. "Now, I want you to just sit here and try to think of absolutely nothing for 30 seconds. I closed my eyes, and immediately my mind exploded with thoughts. What am I doing? This is weird. I should be studying. What if someone sees me? Did I remember to email my professor? What am I going to have for dinner? I need to call my mum. Why is my back itching?" After what felt like 30 seconds, I opened my eyes. That was impossible. My brain wouldn't stop. "How long do you think that was?" she asked. 30 seconds, right? She showed me her phone. 8 seconds. I couldn't believe it. 8 seconds felt like an eternity when I was trying not to think. "This is what most people don't realize," Lisa said gently. "We've trained our minds to be constantly busy. We think this mental chatter is normal, maybe even necessary, but it's actually like living with a radio that never turns off. You don't realize how exhausting it is until you experience real silence." She told me something that day that I'll never forget. Your mind is like a snow globe that someone keeps shaking. All those thoughts and worries are the snowflakes swirling around. You can't see clearly through all that chaos. But if you stop shaking the globe and just let it be still, the snow settles, and suddenly everything becomes crystal clear. Over the next few weeks, Lisa taught me the most life-changing skill I've ever learned. She called it watching the snow settle. "Don't try to stop your thoughts," she explained during one of our practice sessions. "That's like trying to stop waves in the ocean. Instead, imagine you're sitting on the beach, just watching the waves come and go. You're not in the ocean getting tossed around. You're safe on the shore, observing." The technique was simple but not easy. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and whenever a thought appears, just notice it without engaging with it. Don't fight it, don't follow it, Don't judge it. Just let it pass by like a cloud in the sky. The first few days were frustrating. My mind felt like a monkey that had been given espresso. But Lisa reminded me of something crucial. You're not failing when thoughts come up. You're succeeding every time you notice a thought and choose not to follow it. Then something amazing started happening. Around day 10, I had my first moment of real mental silence. It lasted maybe 3 seconds, but in those 3 seconds I felt something I'd never experienced before. Complete peace. No worries, no plans, no commentary, just quiet. It was like finding a hidden room in a house I'd lived in my whole life. As I continued practicing, those moments of silence became longer and more frequent. But the real magic wasn't what happened during meditation. It was how different I felt throughout the day. The constant anxiety that had been my background noise for years started to fade. I slept better than I had since childhood. When stressful situations came up, instead of my mind immediately spiraling into worst-case scenarios, I could step back and respond calmly. It was like I'd developed a superpower. Lisa explained what was happening. When you learn to empty your mind regularly, you're not just relaxing, you're literally rewiring your brain. You're teaching it that you don't have to engage with every random thought that pops up. You get to choose which thoughts deserve your attention. 6 months later, I was a completely different person. Not because I'd added anything to my life, but because I'd learned to subtract. I'd subtracted the constant mental noise, the endless worry loops, the exhausting commentary that used to run in my head all day. The most beautiful part, I realized that underneath all that mental chatter was something I'd forgotten existed, my true self. Calm, clear, and surprisingly wise. Lisa had given me the greatest gift anyone has ever given me. She showed me the difference between my thoughts and who I really am. I am not the voice in my head that worries and plans and judges. I am the awareness that can choose to listen to that voice or not. Here's what I want you to try tonight. Find 5 minutes before bed. Sit somewhere comfortable and close your eyes. Don't try to stop thinking. That's impossible. Instead, just watch your thoughts like you're watching cars drive past your window. Notice them, but don't get in the car with them. When you catch yourself following a thought into worry or planning, gently bring your attention back to just watching. Don't judge yourself for getting distracted. Getting distracted and coming back is the practice. You might feel like you're bad at this at first. That's normal. We've all been training our minds to be busy for decades. Learning to be still takes patience. But I promise you this. Even one moment of real mental silence will show you something profound about who you are beneath all those thoughts. And once you've tasted that peace, you'll never want to go back to living in the noise. Your mind is not your master. You are not your thoughts. You are the peaceful awareness that can choose to watch thoughts come and go without being swept away by them. That quiet, wise part of you is still there, waiting patiently underneath all the mental chatter. It's time to come home to yourself. If this resonates with you, try that 5-minute practice tonight and let me know in the comments how it goes. And if you know someone who's been living with a noisy mind, share this with them. Sometimes the most generous thing we can do is show someone the path to their own inner peace. Remember, you don't need to add anything to your life to be happy. You just need to learn how to subtract the noise and rediscover the stillness that was always there.